Hello and welcome to another version of The World According to, and joining me today is the amazing Lizzie of Halls and Halls and Halls and Halls Privé. So Lizzie, before I go on to talk about your two amazing businesses, can you tell us all a little bit more about you and those two businesses and why they have the different names?
Okay, of course I can. So, Halls and Halls is something that I've been doing that for such a long time, but I didn't really brand it properly until probably about 2016. So it's an events and PR company. I have probably about 5 strands. So I do quite a lot of celebrity booking and placements either on the TV or for events. I do a lot of luxury brand events where I'll get a brief and deliver that. We specialise in something like where a brand will want to deliver an event but bring fresh clientele in. So so for people who are rebranding a part of their restaurant or their hotel, or something where they've got their existing customers they want to thank, but they actually want new people coming into the door. That's quite a specialism. And we do a lot of consultancy within sporting arena, no pun intended, primarily football. So a lot about corporate hospitality. They'll bring me in to consult on that, project management. Is it luxury VIP that they want to do? And then you asked me about why the other name. So off the back of that, which was a lovely thing, a lot of our clients asked me to do their private work. And it kind of doesn't sit within those 4 streams of what I was doing. I was like, why am I doing someone's 60th or 40th? Or so I sort of pulled that out. So whereas Halls and Halls can work and does work globally, Halls and Halls Privé is just about private parties. It's just about working within the Surrey, Berkshire, Ascot, bit of West London basis, and it's primarily high net worth individuals and our celebrity clientele who ask us to do their private work, and that's why we call it Halls and Halls Privé.
Brilliant. I love that. And I love how there was that pivot within the business to create a secondary business as well without losing the brand identity.
So it was quite interesting there because I originally started thinking I should have a completely different name. So I was, I went down a route of looking at different names, plays on the words of Halls and Halls. And then I don't know whether you know, but I'm on the board of the Surrey FA Football Association as one of the only women.
Hey.
And yay! And a very good brand marketeer, a guy called William, who used to work for BlackBerry, Apple, and now works for different companies, said, why don't you just make it an exclusive version and keep your brand identity, because everyone knows that. So thanks to him, that's how Halls and Halls Privé got born.
Fantastic, and what a great idea.
Yeah.
So for anyone who's not aware, when they're tuning in for here, we're obviously recording when we're 3 weeks into lockdown here in the UK because of COVID-19. Yeah. Now, obviously, you had a very well-established business and a slightly newer offshoot from that.
Yeah.
And we know that all businesses are being affected by COVID. But specifically for you and the world you're working in, how has it affected you so far, and especially the people you're working with as well?
Well, it's the quietest inbox I've ever had. And we're not relevant at the moment, events, PR, even if I'm doing sort of celebrity bookings and stuff like that, no one's making any new TV at the moment. Everyone's either pre-recorded. So we're doing a little bit of stuff, like if Good Morning Britain wants somebody to do something like this, we can do that. But yeah, I mean, all my events and PR stuff is basically on pause. And what I found was quite interesting. So one of the things I wanted to do, so I wanted to amalgamate. I've got like a load of contacts in a mini database on my Mac, and then I've got all my contacts on LinkedIn, and I've actually got very old-fashioned a sort of hot list of clients on an Excel spreadsheet. I thought, I'm gonna take the time to amalgamate them all. And I don't really believe in MailChimp and things like that. I'm going to actually go through and start contacting people saying, how are you?
Mm-hmm.
What's happened on your end? And of course, so many people can't reply because they're furloughed.
Yeah.
Who knew that? I didn't even think that. So all these sort of people that I wanted to reach out to and see how they are, unless they're sort of senior management, which a lot of my contacts are, can't reply to anything. I was like, oh, so I was trying to sort of get some traction through my inbox and genuinely see how people are and, you know, what they got for the back end of the year. And I was like, no one's replying. And then I sort of got this penny sort of dropped. And I was like, oh,
Yeah.
you know, so I didn't realise that. I think so many people's businesses are on hold. I'm lucky in some senses. I don't have many overheads. I don't have, my staff are quite transient, although I just employed somebody the week before we went into lockdown, so that's a bit weird. But then that means I fall through lots of gaps. Like, I don't have a business, so I don't qualify for any of those government loans or universal credit or any of those things. So, and I think judging by a couple of forums that I'm on, a lot of either freelancers or small businesses where we take our salaries from dividends and things like that are all suffering the same, in that we're falling through anything that is being set up because we're not that size, we don't tick that box, we don't have a physical. So say that again.
I was just saying, for a lot of the self-employed, depending on when they registered as self-employed, they've not got that proof, so they fall through that gap as well.
Yeah, and I think it's means tested. So if you've got a partner who's still earning, you know, all of those things, it's tricky actually. And I think you've got to try and not let that knock you. I think you've got to try and think about sort of the back end of the year and moving forward into 2021, and that people will still need your services if you're really good, but it's just that real sort of plateau and panic when you're not sort of working.
Yeah. And I guess it is as well, isn't it? And as you say, it'd be very easy to say, oh, I've no business going on at the moment, so we'll just sit on our laurels. But actually, I think a lot of businesses are using it as an opportunity to increase that brand awareness. And as you say, contact the people you might not have spoken to for a while.
Yeah.
Remind them that you're here, not just from a business perspective, but on a personal, you know, we're all humans, all in this
Absolutely. And I think I'm really looking forward to going through and doing that. But I think there's another piece, that if you are a mid-size agency, you've got to manage all of your staff's morale, on all of those different things that they're not used to having. So as I said, I'm on the board of the Surrey FA, and it's quite a traditional business, so a lot of them have never worked from home before. Their job is their life, so they're not having that sort of camaraderie of coming in. What do they do? Because actually football is on pause as well, so that, and I know from us, because we're sitting as a board every 2 weeks at the moment because everything is changing, and we've got a great new CEO in Sally. But actually quite a lot of her management and quite a lot of what her day-to-day role is looking after the staff and keeping them upbeat. I think your more traditional businesses are going to find it a lot harder. You know, people who work at Google, Facebook, YouTube are all used to having satellite desks coming and going. I mean, like, I don't know whether you know, but at Vodafone up in Newbury, you're allocated a location, and then you log in, you say, right, I'm in sector 3. You can sit wherever you want in that, and they can come meet you. So that kind of working for a lot of new businesses or tech businesses is really normal. But for your commoner garden, I'm used to sitting opposite my PA or being in a group, is quite hard, isn't it?
It is, and I think it's a huge change for people. And actually, it kind of brings me on to my next question for you, which is what you see as your biggest challenges so far, and how you're going through that. So obviously, Halls and Halls is one side of things, but as you said, with your role with the Surrey FA, what are the challenges that are coming up there as well?
What, during this period?
Yeah.
So challenges for me is obviously income. Facts, as much as the government or don't think that I've got overheads, I still do. Whether that's so I still have to earn a set amount per month to whether that's paying for your membership to be on LinkedIn or any of those other things. So I think people don't understand that. If you're a small business and we've invested in sort of being members of different associations to get all that information stuff, we need to be doing that, and carrying on with that, all of those different things. That's quite hard. The biggest challenge again for us with the Surrey FA is where football is on pause and they haven't particularly made a decision. We as a county FA are the first county to go out and cancel all the county cups. So that's a bit like all the mini FA Cup finals, for what different age groups, for girls, boys, under 8s, under 16s, etc. And we've had a big petition put up against us from one of the clubs who think that we were wrong to do that. A lot of the smaller clubs could potentially go under because they're not having any income, because they do rely on their gate receipts and things like that. So income's a big worry across the board, but I think that's for everybody actually. But I thought the other day that there's almost going to be, if you did a graph, there'd be people who are like absolutely like beside themselves because sort of like small businesses that are butchers, greengrocers are just flying out the window. They can't deliver as much as possible, and then there's loads of people who are just like that. There is nothing. Yeah. It's either that or this, isn't it? You're either not doing any work at all or not earning anything, or you're selling groceries at a rate of knots.
Yeah, it's weird.
So,
isn't it? Like the tables.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, totally. So I think the events industry will come back. I did joke with some of my other colleagues I might start doing divorce parties for Halls and Halls Privé.
Could be a thing.
It could be a thing. Yeah, it's just very hard, isn't it? But I think you need to get a bit of perspective. I think as much as it's a business, there are lots of things that are going on that are far more serious.
Yeah.
And I think if you get to do some time out and do some big business strategy, and you get to reevaluate your business during that time, that can only be beneficial. We've talked over the years about sort of reevaluating parts of your business and what you're going to do and what works and what doesn't. And actually, you could use this time to have a bit of clarity, knowing that nobody else is on that wheel either. Everyone's pressed the pause button. So actually you've got some time without thinking everybody else is carrying on to do that.
And I think that's a big thing, isn't it? Financial pressures aside, because we're all going through that, however big or small businesses are. You've actually been given that permission now. You've got all of that time you've always been asking for, and you can kind of take a step back. Not just about is the business delivering what you need it to from a business perspective, but also personally. I mean, is it giving us the life we want, or do we just go and get a different job when this is all over?
Yeah, 100%. And it's quite interesting that, isn't it? Sort of like you're working fast paced, or I'm sure there's lots of people who will be a bit like, and I hope they are thinking, my God, my job is a bit sort of not just super fake. If that makes sense, like there must be some soul searching from people actually who may want to change what they want to do in life. They want to be, as I said, I was late coming on this call because I was dropping some food off to what they call Cobham Visible Hands. So, doing some donations out to people who are vulnerable and people like that. And actually, if that gives you that opportunity to reevaluate yourself within your business, your community and your family, that's got to be a positive, I think.
Oh, exactly. Definitely. Well, it's been really exciting hearing more about your business. I'm sure other people are going to have enjoyed it as well. If they would like to find you when this is all over to book their divorce parties, baby regardless, where can people find you? Where are the best places to head to?
So I would suggest for Halls and Halls Privé, which is if you're going to book a private party. So although at the moment I'm offering 10 minutes free consultation, particularly if you've booked something and you've signed a contract with the venue, you think, well, what's going to happen there? So you're welcome to give me a call or email me, want some assistance with that. Halls and Halls Privé is probably best to have a look at what I do via Instagram.
Okay, and what's
it's
the
very
handle
visual, isn't it? That's at Halls and Halls Privé. So Privé spelled Prive. So you can see what we do there. The catch of that, of course, is quite a lot of people's private parties don't want to be stuck up on Instagram. But yeah, by all means, drop me a line for that. And I've got a website for Halls and Halls. Again, Halls and Halls on Instagram will show you a lot. I'm being a very good girl and uploading loads of case studies on Instagram and LinkedIn.
I'm very proud.
You've got the time. To my business page. So if anyone's listening to that and you want to follow me on my business page at LinkedIn, I would love that. And that's I've started to do a bit of case studies on my LinkedIn page, but also sort of funny stories linked to events that I've worked on over the years, whether that's a World Cup or I don't know, opening Wembley Stadium, things like that. So I'm doing a case study, which if you're a business and you want to see what we do, you can see the skill set, but actually there should be like a funny side story along with it.
Oh, great. It's what everyone likes. And I'll be sure to include those links in the comments as well for anyone that didn't catch them. So before I let you go and get on with your day, a little bit of fun to end off the video call.
Okay.
What would be your number one survival tip, both to get through Corona and in normal life? And you can take some time to think about this.
Wine. You know what? I'm going to say something that might be quite close to your heart, actually.
Oh, go on.
I would say having Bunty. So for people who don't know me, I have a 2-year-old little schnoodle. So she's a Schnauzer poodle cross. I would say having an animal of your choice is probably one of the best things you can do. They're unconditional love. They are happy and bright. They make you be responsible. I think sometimes, particularly when you are at home, you can become quite irresponsible, aka the wine. But actually, you do have to get up. You do have to sort of be responsible for their needs. And some people be like, oh, what about kids? I can't rightly say about that. I just think actually having an animal would be my best survival tip.
Oh, I really like that. And I think I completely agree. Having Neo myself, my little lab definitely keeping me active.
Yeah. And I just think that bit where they just love you unconditionally and are so happy, and they'll do anything that you want them to do. And in their world, their environment hasn't really changed much. They don't know nothing's happened in their world apart from, some people's animals will be being walked more than normal, and some people's animals won't be being. But other than that, their world is the same. And actually, what's been even more lovely is my partner Paul's been home, and she's really bonded with him because she hardly sees him that much, and he with her actually. So I would absolutely say they are an absolute lifesaver.
Fabulous. Well, thank you so much for that.
No problem.
I'll drop in Bunty's Instagram as well for anyone that would be interested.
Yes, do follow her. She has a great life. I've just made her my own dog food today. Come on.
Oh wow, spoiled pooch.
Mince and carrots done up. Yeah.
We'll have to throw in the recipe.
Yes.
Anyway, thank you so much, and I am sure we will speak again soon.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.